In terms of that bond and playing for one another, Calais Campbell, I mean, how did you guys grow to closer together from that awful day in training camp, or right before the beginning of the season? It's after training camp, but right before the beginning of the season, where Gus Edwards and Marcus Peters go down with knee injuries after Dobbins went down with a knee injury. It was just like it was a rash that completely blew my mind from just the outside looking in. What about your team and bonding through and around all of that?
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was a crazy day. In all my years of football, I never seen anything like that. Where two of your star players go down within plays of each other. It was literally like 3 plays later. And like the first time, when MP went down, he went down first, and it just takes the wind out of you. We're having a great practice, we're flying around, we're having fun, and then a guy that you just you have so much love for, admiration, for the way he plays the game, the way he what he brings to the game. And it's just like, man, your heart breaks for him, because I know our depth, I know who we have stepping up that can make plays. I know we're still going to be a good football team, but it's just like, man, I know how hard he worked and like how good of a season he could have had. And just kind of your heart breaks for him. And then, like, literally a couple plays later, you see Gus go down, and another guy that I've been a big fan of because he went to the U, and I've been following his career, all of his career I've been following him, and just a big fan of his, and just seeing his development and how he's become just this guy was ready to take over the league. I just felt like he could have been all-pro this year. And then, he goes down. It's just like, wow, and then coach called the practice up, and it was just, you could feel the energy, in the building just kind of get sucked out. But we got great leaders and great people who've been through some stuff, and understand that, like, we couldn't let that deter us. We had to just come together and then, play for them, because they're still part of this. Everything we did up until this point, they're still a big part of it. And they still come into the building, and still bring that good energy in the building still, so, which has been great for us.
And then, the season opener, the Monday Nighter in Las Vegas, which was insane. It was like a trip to Vegas all in one 5-quarter football game, and then that moment in time where you're staring, 0-2 right in the face with the Chiefs just needing to hold on to the football to win it, and your teammate Owe comes up with a huge play. How good is this kid and what you're seeing right next to you on that line, Calais?
Yeah, he's special. He's just a young, talented kid with a whole lot of heart. Plays hard, and I don't think he even realized how big of a moment that is. I tell him, but I don't want to get too big-headed, so I don't make too big of a deal about it. You got to make sure, keep him humble and working. But his potential is through the roof, and he has a knack for making plays. That's something that, they're playing for a field goal. Would have been tough kick in that position. Especially with the way we rushed the kicker. But in that situation, it was like, man, it's gonna be a tough ball game to win unless we make a play. And he comes up with play. Forcing a fumble and recovering it, and that's spectacular. And that's something you can't coach. It's just instincts. He has a knack for making plays, and it's special. But we have a lot of guys like that on this team.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I feel like we have a real chance. But obviously, that's some stuff you can't do it today. All you have to do is take advantage of the moment in front of you. And Monday Night Football, man, it's gonna be a tough matchup. So we got to go out there and be our best.
You have a few more minutes left here with Calais Campbell on the Rich Eisen Show. What did it mean to see Harbaugh? I don't know if you heard it at the time, but we saw the NBC cameras on that Week 2 Sunday night catch Harbaugh ask Lamar if he wanted to go for it on that 4th down to wrap it up. And obviously you'd have been in a very difficult position having to defend against Patrick Mahomes on a shorter field with backs against the wall and only needing a field goal. What did that mean for you to see that from your coach? That
So I'll say this. Harbs, he's a guy. He's a man of his word. And he has his beliefs and things that mean something to him, and he sticks up for him. And I remember when we were practicing in camp, and he was talking about, in those 4-for-1 situations when it's a tough ball game, what do you guys want? And so everything's situational in a sense, but generally speaking, I feel like our offense. I'm very confident our offense can pick up a yard. We're the best running football team. And probably in the history of the game up there, one of the best in the history of the game. And so for us to go get 1 yard, I feel like it's very doable with the guys we have, out there controlling it. So, I felt pretty good about being able to get that 1 yard. But then again, as a defender, when you only got to defend 1 yard for one play, you sell out. And so it's definitely a balance. And, I remember Coach looking to the sideline, and, everybody on the sideline saying, go for it, go for it, go for it. And he asked Lamar, and you already know Lamar's, he's confident in his ability and put the ball in his hands. He's going to make it happen. So it was a crazy moment, I personally, being trying to be a strategic person in the game, it's okay if we punt it, though, because I know our defense can go out there and get a stop. But it is Patrick Mahomes, and statistically, I know that 1 yard we can get right here, let's go get it. So it was definitely a torn decision for me, but Harbs, being who he is, it wasn't a doubt. He knew we can go get it.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.